Welcome to Q-Dads, Foundation Season 2, Episode 2, titled A Glimpse of Darkness, has just dropped, giving us another fun-filled, action-infested episode. So let's dive deep into some of those epic scenes. And don't worry, we haven't read the books, so all the details and predictions are purely based on the show alone. We start off where Episode 1 ended, with Harry confronting Gaal on the beggar. Plus, Harry has also lived through the last 100 years, fully conscious inside the Prime Radiant. As things get heated, one of the notable details here is Harry learning about another version of himself on Terminus.
Terminus, I was on Terminus. Yes, no, you weren't. He was the other one. He doesn't know your mind, you don't know.
Was he not aware of the version? Does he not trust it? Or is he not the real Harry? More on this towards the end. After helping clear the fault in the ship, Salvador and Gaal manage to escape through rough seas and take off with the beggar. We get an introduction here to a new planet, Siwenna, which is part of the Outreach. And yes, a bishop's claw in its full glory as the brother rides this beast in a majestic way. I can't help but cast my mind back to when Sal removed shrapnel from one back in Season 1. I presume this beast is from Terminus and travels with them, but does this mean this brother plays a more substantial role in the series? Will she help with the fight of the second crisis? We did see in the trailer several Bishop's Claws. We then jump over to Tram Tour, where we get so much information as we witness some in-depth conversations about the history of the Empire and the story of their previous rulers before the age of Cleon. Here, Day talks about Empress Hanlo and Empress Amentic and the dynasty that started 4,000 years ago. Damsel makes an interesting movement, almost insinuating she knew of the Empress.
I have an ancient birthroot flower, pressed and framed on my vanity.
Could she have had a hand in their affairs as well as the current Empire? It was said in the last season that she had a birthroot flower which had not been found for thousands of years.
We have not seen them here for thousands of years.
This part of the episode does a great job in showing us a side of Day that makes us connect with him more. He realises his greatness, his rule is nothing but a stone in a pond or a splooge of fantastic paint on an ever-changing mural. We also realise here that Day had his brother's memories audited for any trace of espionage, as well as erasing memories of him and Mademoiselle going at it. We won't forget Day. We also find out they can measure DNA and openly talk about the current day being 3 sentiments off. The 3 brothers dine with Queen Sareth, who openly interrogates Empire over dinner. She asks about the earlier assassination attempt and even questions the process of decanting another empire at any time. Although these questions are quite intrusive and would probably have anyone not of royal bloodline have their planet destroyed, it makes me question what is common knowledge and what is only known in certain circles. Are certain topics forbidden? She attempts to put a bit of tension between the empires, placing thoughts of irrelevance in Dawn's head, making him question his purpose. Is this foreshadowing for the end of the series? Will Dawn be the one to take down Day? Day then gives Sareth a glimpse into the Principium, showing us the children of the future empire. Here we see a glimpse of Day correcting himself from saying we and using I instead.
So I wouldn't remember being killed.
This shows how his look on life has changed from the first season and now he's more of a solo journey as a single entity rather than working as a collective for the greater good. We also get a glimpse of the original Cleon. We were led to believe that he was destroyed in the last season, but now with him back, what did they do? Were they just cleansing the tainted DNA out? Sal and Gaal attempt to view the turning point of chaos, which they predict to be 150 years in the future. Here, Gaal uses her ability, which she enhances by drowning herself of oxygen. She is then able to glimpse into the future. We see a new character, the Mule, a telepath who somehow manages to affect Gaal in the current timeline. Is the Mule the second crisis, or just the catalyst? In the final scenes, we get more on Novice Clarence's brother, Constant of the Foundation, as she preaches the importance of the Vault and the overall foundation to those planets within the Outer Reach. In the next scene, we learn that Polly Veseroff is the man behind the lovely magic show and also the same little boy who spoke with Harry in the final seasons of Season 1.
Will we see you again?
Oh, I expect so, Polly.
He dons the title of Holy Witness. I do question his age, but I must assume he has cryo-slept a few times to live for 138 years. He is cast aside as Jaeger, the current warder of Terminus, communicates with Harry through the recently opened vault. Yet here we get a big cliffhanger. He's incinerated from within, but instead of screaming in pain, he shouts for Hober Mallow, also mentioned by the Mule. The episode ends with the name being carved into the vault. Who is Hober Mallow? What is their importance in the show? And how dangerous or heroic is Mallow? This does make me question the notoriety of Terminus Harry. This tied with the opening scenes of the episode make me now believe that Terminus Harry is a bad Harry. Are his intentions corrupt? Is it even Harry? And does the Harry travelling with Gaal know about this? Are the Harrys we're seeing the good, the bad, and maybe the third crisis might be the ugly in our predicted Harry trio? One thing that did spring to mind in this is clearly the Mule is able to affect the past. Has the Harry on Terminus been corrupted, and was Jaeger's mind actually being controlled by the Mule, hence speaking the name Hober Mallow? This brings up more questions. Who is the Mule? What extent are his powers able to disrupt the past? How was it that he could affect Gaal? And as we've mentioned in the past, a possible third member of Gaal's family could be a distant great-grandchild of Salvor's. We see that the Mule's eyes are light blue, much lighter than a normal thespian resident. Salvador's former lover, Hugo Crast, was thespian, but was able to hide his eyes. Could the Mule have been some form of clone of DNA used of Hugo, hence the ability of telepathy? One thing that does throw a spanner in the works, though, is that Mule used a lightning attack in the future, and we've just been introduced to Swanna, who also attack with lightning. Could the Mule want revenge from a future attack by the Foundation on Swanna? Overall, the episode was great, some good action, and still that enjoyable comedy we love, especially that of Polly Verisov. The story is slowly building towards this epic second crisis, which I'm predicting a major character death. We're getting some more beloved lore and history for that what predates the Empire. A lot of questions here. Is Terminus corrupt, and maybe the reason for the second crisis? Something that Gaal and Cell may have unknowingly influenced. Will the Empire's marriage go through? Is Queen Sareth the usurper? All of those questions will be discussed in a few days in the second instalment of our Foundation cast, including who is Hober Mallow and what are his intentions. And the Mule, we won't be missing him out. Join us in a few days for those extra details and deep dive into the episode, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think the Mule is? And as always, catch you next time with something new.